Nelson is a licensed lender under the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 331060.
This is Nelson from Nelson Radio, and it's important that we talk about a very serious issue. We had bad lending practices that led to the mortgage meltdown, but now we've got the challenge of deplorable customer service coming out of the meltdown. Bottom line, getting a new loan can be like pulling teeth without Novocaine. I've got the solution. Academy Mortgage and my team are injecting into the industry real performance and real accountability. Here are the facts. Appraisals in less than a week. Rate guarantees that can improve if the market goes down. Purchase transactions with our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantees and refinance transactions in as little as 30 days. Who would have thunk? Guaranteed rates and guaranteed performance from your mortgage lender. Call me, Nelson, an accountable loan expert for nearly 3 decades, direct at 888-888-2136. That's Nelson at 888-888-2136, 888-888-2136, or at strongcreditrewards.com.
Nelson.
Good gravy.
A radio host.
Found myself 2 million short of a millionaire.
Barely understandable.
Gee, Monetti.
We can rebuild him.
Guy's bright as a napkin.
We have the technology.
You gotta work with design, vision, and focus.
Better than he was before.
It's not lonely in my head.
Funnier.
I'm staring at a bowl of spaghetti trying to figure out which two ends come together.
More informative.
Characters defined by what you do once you screw up, not if you make mistakes along the way.
And just as sarcastic.
You sausage.
Oh, come on!
Give us 60 minutes and we'll give you Nelson Radio every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on KTLK AM 1150. With 29 years in the mortgage business and an array of top-level guests visiting the show, Nelson is in a unique position to bring you cutting-edge information on real estate, business, finance, and law. If you have any questions for Nelson or any of his guests, give him a call at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or check him out online at nelsonradio.com.
Nelson Radio.
KTLK AM 1150. It is always a treat to be back together with you on Nelson Radio and our special guest host, Phil Immel, the guru, Prudential California Realty, Monarch Beach. How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing great, Rob.
I mean,
thanks.
it's the biggest announcement there. I make it sound like you just entered the stadium.
It is. I was never that good at sports, but the way you announce it, perfect.
Hey, we're theming the show on the luxury real estate market, and bringing your best is the theme of our show. We're going to take a look at that from a variety of different angles. The show's going to be really interesting because we're doing a remote broadcast from one of Phil's latest listings, and this is a luxury property down in Monarch Beach, a beautiful bluff-top home that overlooks Monarch Bay. It's stunning. I mean, Phil, I was in the backyard. I went up onto my tiptoes. I could see Japan.
Well, you have good eyes, buddy.
And so, beautiful property. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to also be with Susan Belknapp, the editor of OC Metro. And then as we go into Coach's Corner, back with Dave Austin in Extreme Focus and getting his perspective on bringing your best. And then, of course, as we always do, finishing the show with a Stump. Stump the experts. Fielding your listener questions, and I don't know if we're going to get stumped. We're on a streak. It hasn't happened yet. And then, of course, Treasures of Africa. We do want to slow down and showcase our sponsor orphanage down in Moshi, Tanzania, and a special little boy that I want to bring your attention to. Let me tell you about Street Noise in our first segment here, brought to you by our legal partner, OC Wills and Trust Attorneys. Being prepared for your family. That's the whole idea about having your estate in check. Give us a call during the show, 888-888-2136, 888-888-2136. Phil, before we go into taking a look at this beautiful estate, I was looking at some of the luxury properties around the country, and this is a high price tag. In my world, an $8.5 million listing. It's probably worth more than that with this kind of view right on the bluff top looking over the Pacific. But the highest listing that I saw in the U.S., what do you think that's at?
Where?
Well, it's out of Connecticut.
Oh.
Tops the Realtor.com list,
25?
$190 million.
Wow.
50 acres, 13,000 square feet, Victorian mansion built in the 1890s.
Wow.
And this is probably what you need for your new family. 12 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, 10 fireplaces. Are there these kind of properties? I mean, that sounds so extraordinary, but are they all over the country, or is this just the...
That's pretty rarefied air, but Tori Spelling's parents' property, Aaron Spelling, the old producer of many great shows, he had a beautiful estate, and I think it was probably $150 million list price originally by the LA Country Club, and I think it finally sold for about $110 to some heiress somewhere.
Yeah. And there's a property like his that's actually on the market. And tell me if you've ever heard of this. I just saw this number. I had to bring it up. For lease, for a small monthly fee, this is up in Bel Air, $600,000 a month.
I'd have to earn your residuals to get that.
Yeah, unbelievable. So let's talk a little bit about the luxury market and just what we see right here in our backyard. I mean, obviously, those are the extremes. But along the coastal community here, Ritz Cove, Monarch Bay, what kind of properties are in this luxury environment that we're talking about?
Well, the area I think we should talk about today is really Newport Beach down through San Clemente, what we call the premier coastal Orange County market. In fact, if you would like to just, donate $150 to a raffle ticket for the Ocean Institute, you can win $1 million home in Laguna Beach. It's a wonderful thing, and they're right across the driveway here from us. So, moving on from that, what I would tell you is the luxury market about 9 months ago started picking up rapidly. And at the end of the year, there were a lot of people because they were concerned about the new tax rates for the super wealthy people. And so some sellers made their move really quickly, even discounted the sale because it would have made a difference of $500,000 or $1 million
from a tax
standpoint, just from federal tax things. So it lit up a lot of high-end net worth buyers to go buy these luxury properties up and down throughout California in particular, and federally and nationally across the country. So what's happening now is that market's still very sustainable. We're in a little niche here where it's more of a summer beach house market. Many of these are second and third homes for people.
Right.
And obviously it's spectacular with a private beach club managed by the St. Regis. The environment of the location we're at right now is unbelievable. So seasonality, we're right in prime time. Everybody'd like to get in here and have their summer home they've always dreamed of. And the correlation between the stock market now over 15,000 has got a lot of people feeling the wealth factor again that has been gone for years.
Well, and it's essentially free money that showed up over the last 180 days.
Yeah.
With, 300-point gain?
Right.
Or 3,000-point gain, I should say.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So in the luxury space, I mean, obviously, we're moving into high season, and people want that experience of being down along the coast. Do you see some of the sellers that did pull the trigger quickly regretting that?
No, most of these people are very, very wealthy, and they can truly afford it. They tend to be all cash buyers, and they don't get rich overnight typically. It's a long-term wealth situation, but they were just afraid the market hadn't bottomed out. And where do you buy to change your lifestyle? And so finally, last year, as the guru had noted, that was the bottom of the market, and now everything else has started to appreciate at all price points, from 0 to 190 million, I guess.
Yeah.
So right now, it's very fluid, and with their stock options and things like that, that tends to be who these people are. Their companies grow, they sell their company, and everything releases. So we're in a much better place than we were even a year ago.
So let me ask you one more question, get a read on this from the street noise standpoint, and that is, maybe the super wealthy, they're not looking back at a sale and going, oh, that was premature, I could have got another 100,000 or 200,000. What about middle America? Do those that have sold at the end of 2012, first quarter 2013, are they looking back going, I should have held on?
Actually not, unless, if they sold and then decided to rent and look around, that might have had some impact. But the majority of those people, what's really kicked in now that we haven't seen in 6 or 7 years, Rob, is the trade-up market. It's kicked in. So those that sold, either the big home coming down to the little home or the new family building with more children than they can handle, has really triggered the point where they've sold and they've gone out and bought something else. So they're getting appreciation in a higher value. So 10% of a higher number is better than maybe a $500,000 home they sold. So they're good.
Great read, Guru. All right. Well, we're going to dive into our show. This is going to be talking about bringing your best. A Street Noise segment brought to you by our legal partner, O.C. Wills and Trust Attorneys, protecting your family in advance of a change in your life. Call us direct, 888-888-2136. We're down at 37 Monarch Beach on the bluff overlooking the Pacific. It's a stunning property. 888-888-2136. I'm with my special guest host, Phil Immel, the guru. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Unlike agencies that represent one carrier and can only provide one quote, Insurance Incorporated has appointments with the nation's leading insurance carriers, giving you the power of choice. This means more options and savings for you, offering coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies for apartments include protection against loss or rents, accusation of wrongful eviction and wrongful entry, vandalism, theft, and slip and fall claims. Show your value as a property manager by being proactive, saving your clients money and protecting their assets. They can even assist your tenants with renter's insurance. And homeowners, they can save you up to 40% on premiums, including often overlooked liability coverage. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Call.
This is Nelson from Nelson Real Estate Radio, and I want to have a very serious conversation with you. Let me paint the word picture. The drinks were innocent enough, just relaxing with friends. Really, I felt fine. Being drunk wasn't even a consideration. Then the rearview mirror lights up with the blue and red. The arrest, cuffed, and in jail. Really? Me? All too frequent, we wish in the somehow, someway category for a do-over, a mulligan to make a different decision. Let me introduce you to Orange County's Office of Michael L. Feld. Nearly 2 decades serving in the Orange County District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor, now fighting for your rights in criminal defense. Recognized as one of Orange County's top 5 criminal defense attorneys, ready to represent you against his former colleagues. Save the embarrassment, the potential conviction, the record, the possible loss of job. Call Mike Feld direct for your legal mulligan, a chance to make it right. 949-278-5559. That's 949-278-5559 for the law office of Michael L. Feld. 949-278-5559, or you can text the letters OCDUI to 313131.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio. I'm with my guest host, Phil Immel, the guru, recognized as an industry leader for Prudential California Realty right here in Monarch Beach. This segment brought to you by Best Chauffeured, worry-free and on-time limousine transportation services worldwide. If you need a limo, Phil, all you need to do is text the word limo to 313131 and boom, the car shows up. It's awesome. If you want to contact us or reach the guru, all you need to do is dial 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or connect with us on the web at nelsonradio.com. We're broadcasting remote, and I have to say this is a treat. We're at this beautiful estate property at 37 Monarch Beach, one of Phil Immel's newest listings, sitting on the bluff above Monarch Bay, and it just has one of those jaw-dropping, beautiful kinds of views. Phil, I mean, do you ever get used to it?
You know, it's really sad. I have to come in and get ready to show this place to people. I sit out in the backyard waiting for the other realtor and a client to show up, and I go, wow, I'm very blessed.
You're very blessed.
Yeah.
Well, and your wife just walked in, and you are very blessed.
I am.
If not downright lucky. Let me share with you the word picture that you painted with the description of the property. The perfect beach house all year long with endless ocean views, Catalina Island sunsets, Salt Creek Beach, and just looking south to the renowned Ritz-Carlton Hotel just down the street from the St. Regis. You have the private Monarch Bay Beach Club directly below. That's all catered by St. Regis, correct?
Right. It's actually managed by the St. Regis, which both the Ritz and the St. Regis just got the 5-star award. So the little beach club, you run down there and they put up chairs, umbrellas, towels, very seamless. And if you're staying at the hotel, the St. Regis in that case, you tunnel right underneath PCH in a nice golf cart. They bring you back to the hotel. It's a wonderful lifestyle.
So if you get tired of this property's 5,000-foot veranda overlooking the ocean, then you can just pop downstairs from the bluff.
The way it really works, Rob, is if you own a beautiful oceanfront estate like this, if you want your guests to be nearby but not in the house, you send them to St. Regis and they shuttle down to the beach club and you meet them down there in your golf cart.
Yeah,
everybody's happy.
You're too newly married to say in-laws. Yeah, but I think I know what we're talking about here. Tell me about the property itself. How many bedrooms? How many baths?
It's 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath. It's a single level home, which is extremely hard to find. Orange County only has about 5-10% of its whole housing stock is single level because of land scarcity over the years. So to find a single level on the ocean is very rare. And, usually people in their 30s don't buy these homes. People in their 50s, 60s do. And they're planning ahead. You want to be in this. It's probably your last house you'll be in. So having single level is a great feature. The landscaping's remarkable here. The smells, the ocean air, the pelicans flying by.
Right.
I mean, literally, I was showing the other day, and there were dolphins jumping in the ocean. You could see the whales, seals barking. I mean, it's a wildlife, but a great wildlife.
And one of the unique features that I liked when I came onto this estate property is that the home's a 4,000 square foot home, but I've seen so many custom homes throughout Orange County that are the 4,000 square foot home built on the 4,500 square foot lot where you feel like you have to exhale to walk inside, kind of a thing.
And this has total privacy because of the lot size, which is quite large. You get a ton of privacy. You really don't see your neighbors, and you have the best views in the world. To Japan, I think you said.
I think I said that. Those are good eyes. I'm with my guest host, Phil Immel, the guru, industry leader from Prudential California Realty. We're right here in Monarch Beach, broadcasting remote. And this segment brought to you by Best Chauffeured. If you need a limo, just text the word limo to 313131. You have so many beautiful features of this property. Do you have a favorite as you walk through the estate?
I think the landscaping, actually, Rob, is just something that is just so well done and maintained. But the home itself, it's got travertine floors, so if you come back from the beach, it's kind of bulletproof. It's very relaxing. You walk in, and it's like a tranquility room, and you have these endless views. It's very calming. But the backyard, there's a little fire pit out there. That's my favorite spot.
That's your favorite.
And it lights up, and if it gets a little chilly at night, you sit around that with friends and have dinner, and you look at the most awesome views, sun setting over the ocean. You see it reflect off the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah.
Little fire pit going. I think that's the view.
I like the gourmet kitchen, and maybe it's because in my house, I have to go outside my kitchen to flip the eggs. This has some space to it.
Yeah.
Everything's built in. It has all of the state-of-the-art appliances.
It's Carrera travertine. It's really, really well done. In fact, the gentleman who remodeled this house top to bottom 10 years ago actually built the house next door. He loves it so much here.
Is that right? Talk to me about the luxury market and the competition for a home like this. We know in the mid-range market that people are practically, having campouts again, standing in line to make offers on properties on an $8.5 million estate. Is there that kind of thirst in the luxury side?
Believe it or not, there actually is. There's only 14 oceanfront homes in this community. And so what happens is, if you love this neighborhood and you have the private beach club, you really want one of these homes. And they don't turn over too often. They're very rare. So when something comes available here, there's a lot of activity. In fact, I've had 3 families chasing this thing, one with a written offer thus far on the property.
Already.
In fact, his dad was just here trying to find out what the real deal was because his dad owns an oceanfront right down the road here. So it's that kind of thing. It's these people know more than the realtors, I'll tell you. They're so sophisticated, so smart. And he's a physician, and other people are in all these different businesses. So the luxury market is on fire. And yes, you could see multiple offers, and I would think this will be an escrow in 30 days with maybe 2 offers or more at a time.
And you mentioned in the description of the property the quality that goes into a home like this. For me, I'm not in the luxury market as of yet. But when I get there, how do I know how to find quality? How do I see it?
Well, if construction standards are just amazing. I mean, it's what you see and what you don't see. We just listed another home in here who's owned by. He's got his PhD and his PE and construction management and everything else. He's expert witness. You walk into this home and you just know it's solid. It feels good. It's well designed. It's got the upper windows, the best quality of the windows, the views. The pools, everything. They're really detailed. But what's remarkable is when you find out what they really did behind the scenes, that's invisible when you first look at a home as a homeowner is something else. So what we do in some of our listings that have that extreme detail is we put a little extra sheet in the brochure for them, and it could be a page or two long of all the things you don't see that really matter, because if you've ever built a luxury home, you really know. It takes 5 years to build these things.
Yeah. Top drawer, first cabin. You got to come see this home. Phil Immel just listed this property at 37 Monarch Beach, $8.5 million to sit on the bluff above Ritz Cove. It is stunning. No other way to describe it. Phil, thanks for being with us. The Guru is back. Prudential California Realty right here in Monarch Beach. This segment brought to you by Best Chauffeured, worry-free and on-time transportation services. Call us. We want you to ring us about this property. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Stay listening. We've got Susan Belknapp, the editor of OC Metro magazine, coming up to look at the 40 under 40. They should be showcasing you and I, Phil. 40 under 40. Great to be with you. We'll be right back.
This is Nelson from Nelson Real Estate Radio, and I want to have a very serious conversation with you. Let me paint the word picture. The drinks were innocent enough, just relaxing with friends. Really, I felt fine. Being drunk wasn't even a consideration. Then the rear view mirror lights up with the blue and red. The arrest, cuffed, and in jail. Really? Me? All too frequent, we wish in the somehow, someway category for a do-over, a mulligan to make a different decision. Let me introduce you to Orange County's office of Michael L. Feld. Nearly 2 decades serving in the Orange County District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor, now fighting for your rights in criminal defense. Recognized as one of Orange County's top 5 criminal defense attorneys, ready to represent you against his former colleagues. Save the embarrassment, the potential conviction, the record, the possible loss of job. Call Mike Feld direct for your legal mulligan, a chance to make it right. 949-278-5559. That's 949-278-5559 for the law office of Michael L. Feld. 949-278-5559, or you can text the letters OCDUI to 313131.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Everyone loves a good mystery, but that's hardly the case when you're in a real estate transaction. With Title365.com, the mystery behind title insurance and escrow services has been kicked to the curb. You gain instant access to status and downloadable documents. Want customized real-time order information and documents as they happen 24/7, 365? No problem. And for the first time, Title365 is bringing together leading professionals working on your real estate transaction, so the process is even more transparent and efficient thanks to up-to-the-minute communication. You can even retrieve contact information for leading professionals offering real estate and home-related services right in your own community and learn more about title insurance all in one convenient place. Be sure to ask your local realtor, lender, or escrow officer about Title365 or visit Title365.com. Mystery solved.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio. We're at Phil Immel's, the Guru's newest listing at 37 Monarch Beach, $8.5 million. Puts you right on top of the bluff overlooking the Pacific. This segment presented by Insurance Incorporated, professional and courteous insurance services, reducing insurance premiums, especially on an $8.5 million estate, as much as 40%. Check out this fabulous property. It is unbelievable. You can click through to see the property at nelsonradio.com or reach the Guru direct at theimmelteam.com. Our number, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. I'm delighted to be back with Susan Belknapp, the editor of the OC Register Metro magazine. And Susan, welcome back on the show.
Thanks for having me. Lovely digs you have here.
Yeah, I wish they were mine. I'm hoping that the Register does some sponsorship.
Yeah.
For both you and I,
or
right?
vice versa. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You had in this last month's edition, it was focusing on the 40 under 40.
Yep.
40 superstars right here in Orange County, under 40 years of age. I'm surprised I didn't make the cut. I think you were teasing me that it should be the 80 under 80.
Yeah,
nice.
That's
thanks.
one thing we freak ourselves out with about how large it is to try to do 40 cover subjects. And there's nothing that depresses you more than doing this issue, because you realize what an underachiever you are, that you haven't cured cancer like half it would seem sometimes when you go through these nominations.
It's remarkable stories. I mean,
yeah.
I wanted to ask you about a couple of them, and a young gun, Patrick Klinger. Tell us his story.
Patrick Klinger is, I don't know, this is one of those things, people who kind of live online, they have forums, like almost every place. Like if you have a problem with your Apple product, you don't call customer service. They send you to the Apple forum, and the forum is where you discuss anything under the sun. It can be a hobby, it can be a passion, it can be a problem-solving thing, technology, where you need to go and ask. It's an online community essentially, and there are about 3 main forum carriers, and they. One is ProBoards, and it's considered to be one of the top ones. It's extremely user-friendly and has all kinds of advantages to being used. And so basically, right now it has over 22.8 million users worldwide. They're registered users.
22.8 million users.
Yes.
Sounds like my Facebook page.
Yeah, I believe the number of websites is something around 33 million, and they have 600 page views per day. 600 million page views
600
per
million
day.
page views per day.
Yes, and he is now 30. He wrote the software when he was in high school. He was a junior in high school.
How about that?
And he's developed it ever since, and now he is the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, and it is still doing, it's just only progressing.
I just marvel at these kinds of stories, because you have certain I don't know if it's genetics, but certain ideas, certain people that have these thoughts that are truly in that visionary category. I mean, I can guarantee you, as a junior in high school, I wasn't looking at things that were impacting the world like Patrick was, and he just has that lens where he can see it.
Yeah, or he just had an idea and developed it and didn't just stop there. He actually pursued it. And I believe his parents are also in tech, so maybe they had the means to help him get it to the next level.
Some exposure, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what so much of our 40 under 40 are entrepreneurs. They're people who have done it in their own way. They made their own story. They found their own niche. It's humbling and amazing.
Yeah. Let's switch gears. Let's talk about Olivia Albrecht. What's her story?
She is, again, about 30 and now works as a high executive at PIMCO, which is a huge international company. And again, she has 2 master's degrees. One is an MBA. She has worked for the Department of Defense. She has worked all over the world, United Arab Emirates. And now she's come back to Orange County, and she's heading up some of PIMCO's biggest divisions and just taking charge. And all of this, it's like, how did she manage to go to school for so long and then turn around and get this high in her career? I can't even do the math and figure it out. It's like, you figure she would have taken until at least 25, 26 to just complete the degrees.
Right.
And now in 4 years, she's reached, high vice president status for an international conglomerate.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to the theme of our show that we've been showcasing is bringing your best and performing at your best. And by golly, I think we need to get Olivia down here to show this property.
Yeah.
If you and I can't write the offer, it sounds like she could.
Possibly, for sure. And I'm sure she has lots of connections that might be able to.
You have an issue coming up over the summer that's going to be showcasing some of the top legal minds and attorneys in Orange County. And you're still accepting nominations for those?
Well, we don't exactly have nominations. The attorneys are done. They're actually done by a third party. So we don't have any, since it's a ranking, you need it to be very, legal and above board. And
credentialed.
We don't have the means to do this as an editorial staff. You need someone who has a professional ranking system, and they have the database, which is a huge database where they track every single attorney who has, high rankings, customer feedback, great results with their cases, that kind of thing. So it's a whole mathematical scale that another outside company does. So we contract them. They give us the list. So these people who are on it are, very deserving of being on it. So someone has tracked every detail and said, okay, these are the top. And then, but we also wrap that story around other legal editorial content. So we're looking for what is the big legal story right now that would really fascinate the general public.
Right.
So.
And it's fascinating. I think this is, Phil, the banking industry needs these kinds of credentials that vet out who the true professionals are, that have that storyline of performance, and it's not just marketing glittering generalities. They actually have earned the credentials, and that's what you're seeing through this third party.
Yes, vetting is the exact perfect word there. That is an outside company that does the vetting for us. And you're right, because once things are pitched, like say, for instance, I have a financial company. I mean, people are rattling off $1 billion of billings and accountings, and it's like they all sound very impressive, but they all start sounding the same. So before long, a layperson, you can't tell them apart, and you certainly don't have the means to go and track back the accounts of every single one of these sometimes 100, 200 people that are putting themselves, submitting themselves for the list. So it's
I love
great.
the storyline, and I love how you're bringing out to the general public awareness on who is performing at their best with some of these superstars. I want to thank you for being with us. Bringing your best is the theme of today's show. We're with OC Register Metro Magazine editor Susan Belknapp, and I appreciate the storylines. We're going to have you back and share some more as we go through the summer months. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're with the guru at the Prudential, California listing, $8.5 million estate right here in Monarch Beach. Beautiful property overlooking the ocean, right up on the bluff, looking south down to the Ritz-Carlton. I don't know a better spot to be in. Give us a call today. We want to hear from you. 888-888-2136. That's Nelson Radio at 888-888-2136. We're moving towards Coach's Corner with Extreme Focus mental coach Dave Austin. You got to hear this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Everyone loves a good mystery, but that's hardly the case when you're in a real estate transaction. With Title365.com, the mystery behind title insurance and escrow services has been kicked to the curb. You gain instant access to status and downloadable documents. Want customized real-time order information and documents as they happen 24/7, 365? No problem. And for the first time, Title365 is bringing together leading professionals working on your real estate transaction, so the process is even more transparent and efficient thanks to up-to-the-minute communication. You can even retrieve contact information for leading professionals offering real estate and home-related services right in your own community and learn more about title insurance all in one convenient place. Be sure to ask your local realtor, lender, or escrow officer about Title 365 or visit Title365.com. Mystery solved.
This is Nelson from Nelson Real Estate Radio, and I want to have a very serious conversation with you. Let me paint the word picture. The drinks were innocent enough, just relaxing with friends. Really, I felt fine. Being drunk wasn't even a consideration. Then the rearview mirror lights up with the blue and red. The arrest, cuffed, and in jail. Really? Me? All too frequent, we wish in the somehow, someway category for a do-over, a mulligan to make a different decision. Let me introduce you to Orange County's office of Michael L. Feld, nearly 2 decades serving in the Orange County District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor, now fighting for your rights in criminal defense. Recognized as one of Orange County's top 5 criminal defense attorneys, ready to represent you against his former colleagues. Save the embarrassment, the potential conviction, the record, the possible loss of job. Call Mike Feld direct for your legal mulligan, a chance to make it right. 949-278-5559. That's 949-278-5559 for the law office of Michael L. Feld. 949-278-5559, or you can text the letters OCDUI to 313131.
Nelson is a licensed lender under the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 331060.
This is Nelson from Nelson Radio, and it's important that we talk about a very serious issue. We had bad lending practices that led to the mortgage meltdown, but now we've got the challenge of deplorable customer service coming out of the meltdown. Bottom line, getting a new loan can be like pulling teeth without Novocaine. I've got the solution. Academy Mortgage and my team are injecting into the industry real performance and real accountability. Here are the facts. Appraisals in less than a week. Rate guarantees that can improve if the market goes down. Purchase transactions with our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantees and refinance transactions in as little as 30 days. Who would have thunk? Guaranteed rates and guaranteed performance from your mortgage lender. Call me, Nelson, an accountable loan expert for nearly 3 decades. Direct at 888-888-2136. That's Nelson at 888-888-2136. 888-888-2136 or at strongcreditrewards.com.
Check this out. Nelson Radio is back. We're excited to be broadcasting remote from the 37 Monarch Beach property of this beautiful, beautiful estate that sits right on the bluff over Monarch Bay. Phil Immel has brought this listing to market, $8.5 million, and it's worth every penny. You can look in that backyard down the coast to the Ritz-Carlton. Up north, you can see Palos Verdes staring across the ocean at Catalina Island. I mean, would you ever get tired of that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. We're moving into Coach's Corner. This is all about bringing your best. That's our show's theme. Nelson Radio is delighted to be with our next guest, and this is from Extreme Focus. Dave Austin, a mental coach, and an entire career about bringing the best out of people in performance, primarily in sports, and working with some of the elite athletes in the world, but also in business, in life.
You know, the principles work in every aspect of life, and it's not that complicated. That's the neat thing. It's just changing your perspective on things. You know, sitting out here in this location changes my perspective just being here.
Right.
You know, you just go, wow, look how beautiful this is. And just from that energy, I'm lifted up. And basically a lot of what I do is I just lift up athletes as they're going to go perform at their highest. They're on the pressure. So I bring them to a place like this in their mind.
Well, and let me ask about that, because there's got to be a common denominator, a place where you start them from that's a core place. Tell me about what that would be.
Well, you know, when you're going to go out and you're going to perform, there's so many distractions. You know, we have distractions, whether it's business or sports, but you have all this hitting you. And so what I want them to do is absolutely nail down and focus on what they love to do. Keep it very simple. And then we do a visualization to see and experience. And I've had ball players say, I'm just going out, I'm walking into my video, the video they just created. So now they're focused on the simple things of what they're going to do rather than what might take place. And you can imagine a pitcher who, you know, years ago I was working with the Dodgers and Eric Gagne was just on a roll.
Right.
I mean, it was so cool when that door opened. He was like a gunslinger coming in. And, you know, he was just so focused on the job at hand. And there'd be guys on second and third and, you know, everyone going, oh my gosh. And he's like, I love this.
Yeah,
I love this. You know, this is where I love to be. So he embraced it because he saw himself in that ahead of time and saw himself bringing his best through it. And I think if you take that approach into anything you do, visualization is very interesting because, you know, to bring it into physical form, you got to see it, you got to feel it, you got to sense it, and now your subconscious believes it can happen, and that's half the battle.
You know, something that's interesting, you and I both come from the ranks of professional tennis. I exercised visualization as a player before I went out onto the court, and I would rehearse what I thought would unfold on the court and visualize that. You said as a player, professional player, you didn't do that. You didn't know about it at that time when you were out in the professional ranks, yet your ranking was higher than mine.
Well, as we talked about this, I was a little ahead of you, and there weren't as many players. I would have been behind you. I actually look at what you did. I think you surpassed me. I wish I would have known the art of visualization. I started working. I took one player that was 320 in the world, and he went to top 50 in the world within 6 months. His income changed from about $30,000 a year to millions.
This is Vince Spadia.
Yeah, Vince Spadia.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I looked at that, and I even myself said, I didn't do this. I didn't know it then. So when I was 50, I decided, by that time I'd had a lot of experience. I've done the U.S. Olympic team. I've done, you know, I said, I want to see if I can be number one now. And I went out with that goal, and I visualized, because before I wasn't comfortable winning because I hadn't seen myself winning a championship. Well, at the end of the year, I became number one.
In the 40s, come on.
Yeah, I was 10 years ahead of it. Yeah.
Number one in the country in the 40s when you were age 50. And that goes back to my old adage, age and treachery beats up on youth and enthusiasm every time. Let me ask you how that crosses over into business, because should we as performers in our business performance, should we be visualizing?
Oh, absolutely. It's a game changer. We do this with businesses. I now go into corporations and we do what we call game readies, so that when you go out, let's say you're going to go out and sell, you've got to see yourself and tap into the important things: joy, appreciation, gratitude. There's just so much strength in that, instead of, I got to make this sell, I got to do this.
Right.
Now think about and see the experience of how awesome it is. And even me, earlier standing out here looking out across the bay, I start visualizing of what it'd be like if I bought this house. I did that with our house. Kathy, my wife, and I think it was Shane. I had 4 boys at the time. We visualized this estate, and we saw ourselves living in that house. We didn't know how we'd do it. 6 months later, we bought that house.
And it came together.
Yeah.
The power of visualization. I'm with Dave Austin. This is Nelson Radio. And Dave leading the charge for extreme focus right here in Coach's Corner. Give us a shout. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. I want to ask you on a different angle. As you're coaching athletes and coaching performance, you see the visual that I'll paint here, which I don't think is very flattering, but the game of football, whether that's Pop Warner or college or professional, where that coach is grabbing a face mask and launching on somebody and getting in their kitchen. Is there a place for that in sports?
Wow, that's a great question, and I'm sure anybody listening to this, here's the answer for me, because I've done it at every level. I have 4 boys, so I've coached at Pop Warner. I've coached at high school. I've coached at D1 football. I've coached at NFL. I've done it all. I've seen it all. And the interesting thing is no matter where you go, it's amazing how much coaches don't understand the power of positive energy. They see they've been brought up, I got to get in your face. Now, there is a time where sometimes you have to wake someone up. But then you better start feeding, because what you give them that you want them to buy into, you want it to grow. So I feed a lot of positive. That will get you through a lot of negative. It's not about, it's like you just redirect. If they made a mistake, you go, good, now let's redirect, rather than, you idiot. And I see coaches do this all the time, and I just go, man, they want this player to play at their best, but now they're doing the exact opposite, because now this player, all he can think about is a mistake. That's all that's on his mind. We need to be focused on our gifts and our strength, and let that rise us, and that will take us through our weaknesses.
That's really affirming. And I coach the men's tennis team back at my alma mater at UC Irvine, and I tell the players that they're going to make mistakes. They're going to face all the emotions in that field of battle that you go through, whether that's anger or fear or doubt. But it's about steering those emotions. That's what I'm hearing, is steering those emotions back to the positive.
I just had this conversation 2 hours ago with a pitcher with the Cincinnati Reds, and that's exactly what we talked about. He gets caught up in that, it wasn't a perfect performance. Even if it looked good and he got guys out, he says, yeah, but I got away with things. I said, great. Say hallelujah to that. And let's not keep getting worried about what you didn't do perfectly.
Yeah.
It's more about the energy than the absolutely every detail of it. When you get into the proper energy of winning, and that is a positive momentum, it takes care of all the weaknesses. It takes care of all the little things you might do wrong. And here he's been caught up and, I did all right, but all he could see is what he did wrong.
Yeah. Dave, I want to extend the invitation. You got to come back to Coach's Corner, and I'm looking for that coaching as I perform in the business world. Certainly as a broadcaster, good golly, I need coaching, don't I? Phil's wagging his head up and down. Yeah, you need to improve behind the mic in a mighty way. We're moving towards the Stump. Stump the experts with the guru, Phil Immel, as we broadcast from 37 Monarch Beach on the bluff above the Pacific Ocean, an unbelievable property. And we're talking about bringing your best. Call us direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. We'll be right back with the Stump.
Everyone loves a good mystery, but that's hardly the case when you're in a real estate transaction. With Title365.com, the mystery behind title insurance and escrow services has been kicked to the curb. You gain instant access to status and downloadable documents. Want customized real-time order information and documents as they happen 24/7, 365? No problem. And for the first time, Title 365 is bringing together leading professionals working on your real estate transaction, so the process is even more transparent and efficient thanks to up-to-the-minute communication. You can even retrieve contact information for leading professionals offering real estate and home-related services right in your own community and learn more about title insurance all in one convenient place. Be sure to ask your local realtor, lender, or escrow officer about Title 365 or visit Title365.com. Mystery solved. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Unlike agencies that represent one carrier and can only provide one quote, Insurance Incorporated has appointments with the nation's leading insurance carriers, giving you the power of choice. This means more options and savings for you, offering coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies for apartments include protection against loss or rents, accusation of wrongful eviction and wrongful entry, vandalism, theft, and slip and fall claims. Show your value as a property manager by being proactive, saving your clients' money and protecting their assets. They can even assist your tenants with renter's insurance. And homeowners, they can save you up to 40% on premiums, including often overlooked liability coverage. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Call.
This is Nelson from Nelson Real Estate Radio, and I want to have a very serious conversation with you. Let me paint the word picture. The drinks were innocent enough, just relaxing with friends. Really, I felt fine. Being drunk wasn't even a consideration. Then the rearview mirror lights up with the blue and red, the arrest, cuffed, and in jail. Really? Me? All too frequent, we wish in the somehow, someway category for a do-over, a mulligan to make a different decision. Let me introduce you to Orange County's office of Michael L. Feld, nearly 2 decades serving in the Orange County District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor, now fighting for your rights in criminal defense. Recognized as one of Orange County's top 5 criminal defense attorneys, ready to represent you against his former colleagues. Save the embarrassment, the potential conviction, the record, the possible loss of job. Call Mike Feld direct for your legal mulligan, a chance to make it right. 949-278-5559. That's 949-278-5559 for the law office of Michael L. Feld. 949-278-5559, or you can text the letters OCDUI to 313131.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
We're back with my special guest host. This is Nelson Radio and Phil Immel, the guru, and we're at the Stump. Stump the Experts, brought to you by Academy Mortgage, providing our exclusive close-on-time guarantees. There's nothing better than a close of escrow that actually hits the finish line on schedule.
We love those, Rob.
I know you do. Call us, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. And the listener questions, they're interesting because they were slanted towards the luxury market as I reviewed them, and I want to cast them your way. We'll see if we can stump you. First question that came out, are the rich in this economic cycle, are the rich feeling the pinch, or will they continue to pay cash for homes?
Well, the ones that I'm exposed to, which is pretty consistent up and down. I've got a lot of contemporaries all over the United States, New York here and up in, Montecito, La Jolla. The profile of the buyer is pretty much the same. They are wealthy. They do pay cash. Once you're over $1 million mortgage, you don't get a tax deduction. So they might put $1 million on there, which is great for the lenders. And
amen.
Bring
it on.
Yeah, we like those. And but pretty much they're all cash, proof of funds from their private banker, and bing, bang, boom, they're done. And they, they continue to surprise me how many people are wealthy and, old wealth, new wealth. And
do you find them paying cash for the property for the purposes of securing it and then placing that $1.1 million loan on the property just so they do gain the interest deduction?
I would say 1 out of 10 happens that way, where they put a loan on it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I've had an executive with Fox Television, do that because their in-house lender couldn't get it done fast enough, so they just had to close, and then they put it on the back end. But most often, these people just pay cash. Everything they own is free and clear, and they own multiple assets.
Yeah, nice. All right, let me throw this question at you. If I purchase a property somewhere in the coastal communities and intend on using it as a vacation rental, is the city going to get in the way? Are they starting to tighten the thumb screws on allowing this?
Good question, because what's happening in the last year or two is the fact that Dana Point, Laguna Beach, all these cities are looking for tax revenue. And, South Orange County, I'm sure it's similar up and down the coast. So what they're doing is they're all trying to pass bed tax issues, just like hotels pay 10% extra. And I would investigate very deeply this topic, because there's been laws in the books that no cities have enforced for a very long period of time. But because of the revenue shortage, the cities are high alert now to try to find a way to enforce the law to get these seasonal rentals to pay this.
Just more taxable income.
And as much as 10%, So, and it kind of takes the steam out of the seasonal rental.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, let's squeeze one more question in here. And this is really for all of us that are driving around the Southland. Can appreciation sustain itself? And is it the same appreciation that we see in the upper end in the luxury market?
That's a great question as well. We hear that a lot. And just to review, over my 38 years as a dinosaur as the real estate guru in this business, what's happened is the appreciation rates. People think, the rich don't get affected by it. Well, I can tell you what, oceanfronts dropped 50% when you and I met in 1990. They dropped again in this recession 50%. There were foreclosures, there were short sales, So what's happened is they have gone down, but tends to be luxury properties. If properties go up 20%, you can bet that oceanfront's gone up 20%. In fact, the Strands project right down the road, as an example, it's a brand new lot development.
Right.
I talked to the developer yesterday. He's a friend of mine, Sanford Edwards. 20 homes have sold in 5 months there. He said, Phil, last year I sold 3 all year. And these are homes that are selling at $22 million, and the lots that are selling. I sold a lot to a client for $9 million. He's already up $3 million. He sold the next lot for $12 million already. So it just continues to flow. So appreciation is a steady number. If it's $1 million, $500,000, or if it's $10 million, if you get 20%, 20%.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. We haven't been stumped. The streak is alive. That's Phil Immel, my special co-host, the Guru, and Stump the Experts, presented by Academy Mortgage. Close-on-time guarantees combined with not my 38 years of experience, but 29 years. I think I'm just starting to figure it out, Phil.
My younger brother.
888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. As we close our show, we want to switch gears here, as we always do, bringing attention to Treasures of Africa, our orphanage down in Moshi, Tanzania. And the unique thing about this particular orphanage is that it's not just a relief organization. It is an orphanage that is providing food and pure drinking water and clothing and medical needs and education, but they're raising up these kids to be community difference makers, to come back into the community as the doctors and attorneys and pilots and educators to make a difference in the community. There's Little Justice, born in 2007. His mother died shortly after childbirth. Father wasn't able to take care of him. Treasures of Africa brought in Little Justice. He's HIV positive, and this is one of the biggest challenges of the pandemic. The HIV pandemic is probably centered right here in Moshi. So he tested positive. His body isn't that strong, but he's developing, and he's growing, and he's eating, and he's doing well in school, and he's getting extra attention because of the HIV and other physical challenges that he has. You should see this little boy's smile. He is one precious little boy. And we're asking you to step forward, sponsor it. You can name your sponsorship, whether that's $20 a month, $30 a month, or for one of you that's going to come and write this check at 37 Monarch Bay for this $8.5 million estate we're broadcasting from. A $2 million gift allows 126 kids to enter in this orphanage and build out their compound to its completeness with a new school, a new dispensary for their medical needs, new everything, $2 million. So if you're out there, we're going to ask you boldly to give. Great show today. We're also drawing your attention to the 8 mistakes that buyers are making out there. If you want to know more about the 8 mistakes, jump onto our website. We'll send you a free copy with that coaching at nelsonradio.com. I want to say a special thanks to our guest host, Phil Immel, the guru from Prudential California Realty, right here in Monarch Beach. And then, of course, our producer, Phil Giangrande, fighting his way through back pain, chewing Vicodin like M&Ms right now just to get through this show. It's been a good one. We want you to call us. Throw those issues at us. We'll hit them straight on. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Thanks for listening. We'll be back with you next week.
Nelson is a licensed lender under the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 331060.
This is Nelson from Nelson Radio, and it's important that we talk about a very serious issue. We had bad lending practices that led to the mortgage meltdown, but now we've got the challenge of deplorable customer service coming out of the meltdown. Bottom line, getting a new loan can be like pulling teeth without Novocaine. I've got the solution. Academy Mortgage and my team are injecting into the industry real performance and real accountability. Here are the facts. Appraisals in less than a week. Rate guarantees that can improve if the market goes down. Purchase transactions with our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantees and refinance transactions in as little as 30 days. Who would have thunk? Guaranteed rates and guaranteed performance from your mortgage lender. Call me, Nelson, an accountable loan expert for nearly 3 decades. Direct at 888-888-2136. That's Nelson at 888-888-2136. 888-888-2136 or at strongcreditrewards.com.